Are you thinking about making a move to Greensboro, North Carolina, and you want to know all there is to know, the good, the bad, and the ugly about Greensboro? Then today you are going to want to check out this video. My name is Meredith Parsons. I'm a realtor. I live here. I love it here. I want you to move here and love it here as much as I do. And if you could do this, it would be so awesome. If you could like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because each week I'm going to be taking you on a little tour, a little adventure of all things Greensboro Triad area, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. You ready to go check out the good, the bad, and the ugly? Let's go. So we are going to go over the cons first. Let's get the bad out of the way. So these are in no particular order, and these are all just what I think and what the stats say are bad about Greensboro. So number one, I think the driving here is very slow. So if you're a very aggressive driver, you're not going to get that here. You're in the South. You're in a much slower paced life. People are just slowly driving around. They're in no hurry to get anywhere. So if you're from an aggressive driving area in like the north, for example, you're not going to have that here. I would also say that I've heard from other people that have moved here and relocated that they're like, the roads don't make sense. Like you'll be going east, but really you're not going east, you're going south. Or like they're not in grids. Because they're not. It's an older city. Like downtown, it's more of a gridded pattern, but like driving out of town, the roads are older. They can be very narrow, and that's something that has been brought to my attention that I was just used to and didn't even think about. So that could be something of a negative for you. Number two, which is probably the most important out of all of these, is the crime. I get this question a lot. We do have a higher than national average crime rate here, and I don't know why. I don't know the stats on that. I don't know why we have a higher crime rate. If you look at crimemapping.com, you can see where it's located, and it is located more times than not in certain areas. I can say that I have lived here for 25 years and we have never had any problems with us as people, with our house, with our car, with like robbery, with anything. And I haven't seen it out in public either. So I would say definitely look at crimemapping.com to see where it's located and like steer clear of areas where crime happens. And I would definitely think about, if you're buying a house, perhaps stay away from those areas, just because I want you to feel safe. I want you to live in a place that you feel safe and that you love. Transportation could be a negative to some people. This is a smaller city of 300,000 people. We don't have a subway. We don't have anything like that here. But we do have buses. We have buses that go all throughout the Triad. And one thing that I did not know that Greensboro offered with our bus system, which is pretty awesome. I just sold a house to people that relocated here. They found me on YouTube, and their son is in a wheelchair. And we have our own bus system for people that are in wheelchairs and that need assistance, that if it is within a mile of a public bus stop, they will come and get you at your house, which is something I wasn't even aware that we had here, which is pretty awesome and amazing. But so we do have buses that go all throughout the Triad, and they have done a great job of putting in bike paths downtown. And so we've got, not necessarily just downtown, but in surrounding downtown and working its way further out. And so we have bike lanes for people that want to travel via bike. So we also have the train that runs from Raleigh. It stops here, in High Point, and then in Charlotte. So we do have that, but we do not have a public mass transportation because our city's just not big enough to sustain something like that. We do have higher property taxes within the state of North Carolina. Out of the 5 biggest cities, we do have the highest property tax than the 4 other cities. But with that being said, compared to the state, the United States as a whole, we're ranked number 19th, cheapest for taxes, property taxes. So that's definitely a plus. It's a minus and a plus. Our house average here, the average house price here in Greensboro is $275,000. compared to Charlotte and Raleigh. Theirs is around 400,000, so their house prices are way higher than ours are. And so it's kind of a wash in the sense that our house prices are lower. So our taxes are gonna be less on a lower priced house. And also our rate is 1.39. That's if you live within the city limit. So within the city, you would be paying city and county taxes. If you wanted a cheaper rate, you could move out of the city limits and you would only be paying county taxes, and county taxes are 0.89%. And number 5 for a con of Greensboro, North Carolina is our weather. So let me just preface this by saying most of our weather is great except for the winter. If we have snow and if we have ice. So where we're located, for some reason, I'm not a meteorologist, we tend to have more ice than we do snow. We just don't get a lot of snow. We got no snow and no ice last year in 2023. So I can't remember the year before in 2022. We may have had a light dusting, but what happens when we get snow here is the entire town shuts down. Your kids will not be in school. You need to plan to be able to not go to work, or they will expect you to go to work, and then you have to take care of your kids. Because if it's gonna snow, they will cancel school because we just have no way of dealing with snow here. And the same with ice. If we get ice, which ice is debilitating really, you can't drive in ice. Nobody can drive in ice, and you definitely will not be leaving your house. If you live in a newer development, hopefully all the lines will be buried, but where I live in an older neighborhood, we have tons of big trees, and more times than not we lose power, which is not ideal. So we actually have a plug-in generator that can run our whole house. We don't have the bougie kind that are $20,000, but they do have those. So that is something you can think about if you lose power a lot in these older neighborhoods. So that's something that could be a negative, is the snow and the ice. But on the pro side of our weather, which is also, I think, something great about Greensboro, is we've got all 4 seasons. And most people that have moved here, that I've helped, that I've met through YouTube, and that have moved from all over the US, our weather is something that they love. So I take back, I am wrong. Write this down when I said that it's hot and humid here. I went to Texas this past summer and it is not hot and humid. It is hot and humid in Texas. And I had people move here from Arkansas and they said that this was nothing. And they're right, like compared to what it's like there, it's not that hot and humid, but compared to maybe up north it is. So we tend to have like a hotter summer, but they're usually in like the 80s and 90s. We're not in like the triple digits. Sometimes we'll hit it, but not often. Our spring is amazing. Our fall is absolutely fantastic because you've got the leaves changing. You can drive up through the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I think our weather is definitely a plus. The only thing that's a negative is the snow and the ice. A number 2 pro for Greensboro is it's very affordable. We are below the national average for all costs of living, whether it's housing, utilities, gas, rents, medical, all those things, we are below the national average. To be precise, it's 15.8% less than the national average for the cost of living, and it is 7.5% less than other places here in North Carolina. Number 3 pro of living in Greensboro is your location. You are smack dab right in the middle of the state, and you're in the Piedmont area. So you can be to the beach in 2.5 hours. You can be to the mountains in 2.5 hours. You can be to Raleigh in like a little over an hour, and to Charlotte in like an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on traffic, which, let's be clear, both of those places definitely have traffic, and we don't have that here, which is another plus for living here in Greensboro. A number 4 pro of living in Greensboro, North Carolina is we've got a good sports scene here. We have the minor league Greensboro baseball, the Grasshoppers. Greensboro Grasshoppers are here, and they obviously play in the spring and the summer. We have the Swarm, which is a minor league basketball team. We have the Greensboro. We also have the Greensboro Aquatic Center, which is the largest aquatic center in the entire US. It's a very state-of-the-art facility that has obviously swimming lanes, but then also high diving and so platform diving. So people travel from all over for events here for that. Number 5 is our cultural art scene. Greensboro has a lot to offer. We have the Steam and Tanker Center, which is a state-of-the-art facility that has concerts and shows and off-Broadway events that happens year-round, which is an amazing facility. It's definitely something great that Greensboro has to offer. We've got local community theaters. We've got the CTG and the Carolina Theater. If you're looking for classes or lessons for either yourself or your kiddos, we have the Greensboro Cultural Arts Center. They have things for everything. They've got dance, they've got fine arts, they've got music. My kids used to take pottery there for years. Like, it's a great thing for you or for your family to take lessons for yourself or to go see shows and events there. We have the UNCG has the Weatherspoon Art Museum. I did a video on that. Please go check that out if you're looking to find out more about that. They've got the biggest selection of modern and contemporary art in the Southeast. Definitely check out the Greensboro Science Center. Also a good fun thing to do either for yourself. They have an aquarium as well as outdoor area and ropes course, and I did a video on that. Check that out. And that's fun for people of all ages. And number 6. The final thing that I think makes Greensboro so great is we've got great green spaces here. I've done a video on that before of all the different green spaces, whether it be Country Park or the Military Park where they have reenactments there. You've got hundreds of miles of trails on the Greenway, both downtown and traveling north, and it's traveling south down to High Point. So we have tons of outdoor space that way, and you could be to lakes close by. You've got Blues Creek or Haw River, and out in Brown Summit too. You've got tons of green spaces that are close by, which is making Greensboro just have so many things that it has to offer. I hope you've learned the good, the bad, the ugly, the pros and the cons of Greensboro, North Carolina. If you've got any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.